You know what you're supposed to do today?
Yeah.
Now, I've had a look at the Moodle. It appears that quite a few of you have already attempted and submitted the question for submission. So they've already been marked. Thanks for that. So it just shows that the system does work. So if you have any queries that I can help you with, yeah, just please let me know. The other thing that I want to tell you is that I think I might change the Zoom setting to not requiring you to wait in the waiting room. So just keep an eye out on the announcement, and I'll change the. I'll just have to change the Zoom details. All right, I won't do it now, and not for this lecture. This at 4 o'clock, but I will make sure that the changes are done for next week onwards. All right. Now, as far as the tutorial that you need to do, it is basically quiz number 1. I think what I might do is to share the screen with you. Okay. So now this, I assume that you can see the screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is the question that I need you all to attempt, and now this is the description of the question, but please enter your solution in the multiple choice on Moodle, and then you will get marked off automatically. Okay. So I will not say any more. If there's people with any questions, I'm happy to help. And with regard to the A-weighted filter, and to be able to find the average noise level, I will refer you to the appropriate part of the lecture notes so that you will not get lost. Just give me a second. Now, the A-weighted filter is, oh, not this one. Yeah, just give me a second. I'll get the right one out for you. All right, so if you look at this lecture, and you will see this is the lecture on noise measurement. Okay, and on this slide, and this is the lecture which tells us basically they describe to us the frequency response of our ear. Okay, and to say that the ear has got a frequency response which is not totally flat, which means that we need to take into account this kind of responses, or the way that our human ear responds to noise. so that whatever noise measurements, whatever pressure measurements that we've measured, it has to mimic what our human ear actually hears. Now, given that this is how our ears respond to noise, what that means is that our human ears are a lot more sensitive to these frequencies and a lot less sensitive at these other frequencies. What that means, because our pressure microphone usually have a very flat frequency response. Okay. Now, this is what you would expect from the pressure microphones. But for a human ear, it appears that we are a lot less responsive. We're a lot less responsive to low frequency noise, and we are a lot more responsive in this region. Okay, so what that means is that if I want to use this pressure measurement to mimic what our human ear actually sees or hears, I would need to somehow modify the pressure measurement. Now, this modification can be seen in this table. All right. So if you look at this table here, just look at the. If you just look at the A weighting, okay, this here is our this is our A-weighted filter. All right. B, C, and D are given correspondingly. So you can see that at low frequency, there's a negative impact, which means that whatever pressure measurement that you have measured, you have to subtract these values in order to mimic what your human ears will hear. Whereas in the audible frequency, which is at this region, you need to add on. See, there's the region where you have a positive effect. Okay, and that is because our human ears are a lot more sensitive to these frequencies compared to the lower end of the frequency spectrum and the upper end of the frequency spectrum. All right. So in the question where you're asked to determine the A weighting values, what you need to do is to refer to this table and find out what are the correction factors in order to adjust the noise measurements that you have to the A weighting values. Now, if you're still unclear about how this thing is done, I will refer you to the example that is given towards the end of the lecture, like here. Okay, here I have this here are the octave bands that you have measured. These are the correction factors that you can get from the table. All right, in this case, it's from slide number 16. The moment you've done that, what that means is that if this is the values that I've measured using the pressure microphone, which has got a flat frequency response, in order for me to mimic what the human ear hears, I need to apply these A-weighted filters. So which means that now I'll need to suppress the 87 decibel by 39.5. And if you look at the next slide, okay, and that is how you can get your, in this case, your A-weighted, this will now be your octave bands measurement that's been A-weighted. All right, you can see that this is what we measure, this is what the human ear will perceive, and to be able to convert this into here, I need to apply these A-weighting filters. All right, and you can see that in the audible range, this number is either unchanged or actually be amplified. Whereas in the on the either side of the spectrum, the hear is not so safe, you can see that the readings are practically suppressed. Okay, so in your tutorial, what you need to do is to use this A-weighted filter and work out what the corresponding noise levels are at the frequencies that's been nominated, and also to work out what the A-weighted octave bands are. And from here, then you can calculate the overall values. All right, and if you want to calculate the overall values, you will also see the example in the slide where you'll be able to see how this overall values can be done. And we went through this last week where we say that all these pressure values will have to be converted into the PRMS, okay, which is essentially 10 times, for example, for the first value, it will be 47.5 on 10 plus 10, 52.8 on 10, so on and so forth, okay, and then there you go, 10 and log 10 of this, okay, but please refer to the notes. And you should be able to get the correct formula to be able to do this this tutorial. Now, as far as the tutorial is concerned, please answer this question and put the numbers into the solution platform that we have on Moodle. Submit, you only have one attempt. Just give me a minute. Okay, answer these questions. Put answer on Moodle, and then it will be automatically correct, automatically marked. All right, and this is due on the 17th of August, which is next Monday. So you have time to do it. I'm not going to put any pressure on you. Just make sure that you understand what you're doing and submit it by next Monday, and you only have one attempt. Okay? Any questions? Now, from what I've seen on Moodle, quite a few of you have already submitted the tutorial for assessment, which is good. So if there's any questions that I can help you with, please let me know. I'm here to talk to you. Okay, from now till 2 o'clock. All right. Okay, Sam has a question. He say that there's in part 5, there's no one correct answer, but if you are able to suppress the values to make it okay, let me just show you this thing. All right, that's a very good question. You have if this is your sound pressure level and that is your frequency, all right, now, and let's just say that the overall noise level is greater than 85 decibel at this stage, and 85 decibel is here. Okay, now if I want I need the SPL overall to be less than 85. What I will need to do is to make sure that I reduce, you can try. If you reduce these values here, it is not going to make any difference to your answer. What you need to do is to aim at reducing these values which have exceeded 85. Yes, there will be multiple solutions, but any solution that gives SPL overall less than 85 will be acceptable. Okay. Now, in real life, this is what I tell you what. Just give me a few minutes. I'll show you a real life example where how this thing can be done. All right. Just give me a few examples. Just do have a look at. Is there any way you can set up own breakout room? I can set up breakout rooms for you. I didn't expect that many people to be turning up actually. I can set up. I think I'm the only one who can set up the breakout rooms. So, but the only problem is I'm the only one who can assign you all to the breakout rooms though. So, is there anyone that perhaps, no, you can't, no, yeah. So the only thing that you can do is use a Discord. Yep. Thank you, Sam. But look, just work on that problem on your own just for the time being. And if you need to go to Discord, go there. But I will look for a practical example for you to show you how those noise suppression can be done. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Can you see this? You guys still there?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Good. Now, perhaps in the next week or so. Now, this is one of the projects that I did for some town councils. Now, this here is the frequency response of is the noise absorption characteristic of some materials that I have. Okay, and what this thing is telling us is that at higher frequency, say if you're just looking at this material is able to absorb noise from this, really nicely from this frequency onwards. Now, for this particular sober foam, 25 millimeter thick, this here is the frequency response and how good it is at absorbing noise. Now, if I put it one side for the time being, and if you look at these values, now this here is frequency, and these points here were the octave band measurements that I have done. Okay, and this axis here is the sound pressure levels that I measured at the premises. Now, this is what we measured when the pump was on. before the treatment. And this was deemed to be too noisy, which was why I was asked to have a look at this particular problem and to solve this problem. Now, if you look at this, because this is too noisy, and if you look at this, this is, by the way, is A-weighted. If you look at the response that I've measured, where the pump was allowed to operate, okay. Now, what I was needing to do was to suppress this to the noise level that was as close as possible to what it was like before the pump was actually turned on. Now, with the pump off before treatment, this is what it looks like. What we were endeavoring to do is to have this pump treated, okay, or the surrounding treated, such that the noise level that I measure at the premises must be as close to the readings as if there was no pump operating. So now, if you compare this curve with the one that is operating, now the most obvious region is this part here, okay? Now, if you look at the frequency response, the bandwidth that is required, it stretches from around about 600 or so hertz, right up to about 1,000 or so. Okay, so what we then did was we had a look at what are the materials that's available to us. Now, in the case of this particular example, I chose this material because I know that this material has a very good absorption characteristics from 500 hertz onwards, which is exactly what this thing needs. All right. And the moment I've done that, and what I've done was, after I treated that the pump with the material, I went back and do the measurement. Okay. In this case, I did the measurement twice, and these are the measurements that I took, that I obtained. And you can see that, you know, by using this particular material, I was actually able to suppress. I was actually able to kill off this noise level and bring it all the way back down to close to where the background. May ask, what about this region? Now, this is not important. This is not important because it does not contribute much to the overall noise level. Okay, because our human ears are not quite so sensitive to this region anyway. All right. Yes, your tutorial will have numerous solutions, but what that tutorial does is actually try to mimic what you will see in reality. Okay, this is something which I did a few years back for some town councils due to some noise complaints. Okay. Any questions? I'll just have a look at the chat. I couldn't find. Oh, okay. Last week's the first lecture that we did, unfortunately, the file was corrupt. But I recorded the second hour lecture from 4 to 5, and I've already uploaded it on Moodle for you. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn on the Zoom recording for this tutorial because I didn't think that it will be it will be quite so important for you, because the main purpose of the tutorial is for you to ask the questions and for me to answer them. So that's why I didn't turn on the recording thing, but I'll try that for next time. Now, I know that we can assign tutors as host, but the thing is I do not have a tutor for this session. I am the tutor. Okay? So I can organize a breakout room, but I cannot help you with I cannot allow you all to go to the breakout room yourself, because I have to assign you automatically, or if you're able to use the Discord, I think that would be much better, because you will have total control over the breakout room. Any other comment or feedback? Look, if there's anything that I can do to make this thing run better, let me know. Yes.
I have a question.
Yep.
For the first tutorial first problem,
Yes.
how do we get SPL for barely audible noise? So do we need to look at the chart, or like I'm just confused in this one?
Okay. Now that problem you do not need to submit for assessment, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as you're clear. Okay, now if you're talking about the barely audible noise, just let me see if I can find. Just give me 1 second. I'll point you to the. Okay, yeah, it's the one. Just give me 1 second.
Like on
Yeah.
purpose? Or?
I don't know. I think he just put us in the breakout room and he's there in the main room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna leave the room.
Okay.
Okay, see ya.
Hang on. Can you see this this diagram here?
Yeah.
Now the threshold of hearing will be round about 3 decibel. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use this, or either 10 or 3 decibel as a threshold. That will be the sound pressure level.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
and the threshold of pain will be way up here.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. And what is this red line? This is just the
okay.
like
The red
median
line is there. No. The red line is there to just illustrate the nature of this curve.
Okay.
You should have a look at the lecture. I think the animation will tell you what the red line is for. It's just to illustrate the shape of the curve.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other people wanting to ask questions?
Hi. Yeah, I want to ask a question.
Yep.
So it's from the problem set as well. In question 3 and 4. So for question 3.
Question 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Are you able to share your screen with me?
Sure. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Question 3.
Uh-huh.
So since this is a square wave, so we can't use the same formula for the RMS, right? So we would have to sort of find the root mean square
Yes.
by like
Yes.
logistic.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. So okay. So for then question 4. So I would try to do this integration for this cos squared one, but I kind of got lost. Could you like help me out a bit?
Okay. What I suggest you do is to use put this thing in Excel, and you calculate the area under the curve.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But make sure that you do it for an integer period, number of periods. All right.
Uh-huh. Oh, so if I calculate the area and then
Yeah, that would be the integration, right?
yeah, true. Yep. Okay.
All right. Okay, no problem. Look, listen, this mode of teaching is new to me as well. So if there's anything that I can make this thing better, please send me an email or something. Okay, I will try, but there's no guarantee that I'll be able to do what you say that I should should try. But I will try my best. Okay. So if you have any questions, please please ask. Look, nobody can see you, so don't be shy. Just this is a good time to just practice asking questions and talking in front of people. But in this case, nobody can see you because there's no video.
Wing, for part 5 of question, like the question that we need to submit,
Yep.
is the only way to do that by trial and error, or is there
Yes.
an analytical way to determine
Okay.
the values?
The only analytical way that you can do is if you know the absorption characteristic of the material that you're using. But in this case, there's no analytical way of doing it. You can only do it by trial and error. The aim of that particular example is to show you that if you suppress any other components apart from the ones that's above 85, you're not going to achieve any significant benefits. That's the aim. Okay.
So would you suggest doing that in Excel or something?
Oh yes.
Like that?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It just makes things a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So for the Moodle marking aspect of that, will tutors sort of mark all those questions by hand rather than it just being like an automatic marking system?
I think the automatic system would have I'll need to check it, but it will be able to cope with the your solution as long as the overall value is less than 85.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
All right, not a problem. I just got a message about breakout room. Have I?
Sorry, I called for help from breakout room 1, but I came out instead.
Oh.
Do you mind if I ask about the last part of the quiz though?
Sure. Sorry, I'm not a Okay.
It's okay.
Yep.
New technology. Anyway, so it says that we need to achieve an overall noise level of 85 decibels, but
Yep.
I'm not too sure how we do that. Do we just suggest like a noise suppression around the
Yes.
500 to 2000
Yes.
frequency range?
Correct.
Oh.
That's what you need to do. Yes. For the purpose of this problem, yes.
We can just alter the decibel levels of those 3 frequencies?
Yes.
Oh. And then we work
Yeah.
out the new...
Yes, that's right. Use Excel, please. It will be a lot easier if you use Excel.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Thank you.